Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. This is Radio Free Mormon on the air, broadcasting behind enemy lines. Tonight's episode, big news for 2024. But first, a couple of observations. Today's date is December 31st, 2023. It is the last day of the year, and a lot of people are doing retrospectives on all the top stories regarding Mormonism in 2023. And there's certainly a lot of news that's broken this past year. Bill Reel and I kind of did our own retrospective a little bit earlier this month on Mormonism Live, and we were at the same time celebrating our 3rd anniversary of Mormonism Live, and we went over a lot of the top episodes that we had done on news for the past year. So what I am doing today is not so much a retrospective, it is a prospective on 2024. But let me get to those observations, because I cannot let today's date pass without observing that it is December 31st, 2023. And if you write that out, it becomes 1 2 3 1 2 3. Yes, it does. 12 31 23. 1 2 3 1 2 3, which doubly ironically is how I open my show. Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. So it was fated that I should do an episode on this date. And once again, I'm going to be talking about next year, because I have got some very exciting news. I know it broke over on another episode, another podcast about a week ago. I happened to bring it up. It is rather late breaking. In fact, I didn't tell Bill Reel about it until after it had been announced on that other show. And I think that was Latter Daily Digest. It's not that I don't want to say the name of the show, it's that I have trouble remembering it sometimes, but it's doing great. So good on you over at Latter Daily Digest. But what I'm doing here is, in addition to Mormonism Live and in addition to Radio Free Mormon, which are the two primary podcasts that I'm involved in, I'm going to be doing 2 more podcasts on top of that, starting in 2024. One of them is going to be called Mormon Sunday School, where we're going to go over on a weekly basis the materials in the Come Follow Me manual for Sunday school and for personal study. Now it's an all-purpose manual by this point, and for all ages as well. There's only one manual. They've condensed them from the 4 down to the 1. Now this is going to do for everybody in every place at every time in the LDS church. We're going to go over that, and we'll do it a week in advance of the lesson, so that if you go to church, you can either listen to my podcast about the lesson material in advance, or you don't have to go to church at all, or you can plug it in while you're at church. Just keep the volume down. Don't let your neighbor know that you're not listening to the teacher, at least not the teacher in front of the class. Okay, so here I have a, like I said, I broke this with Bill only a few days ago. He has really been burning the midnight oil, and my hat is off to you, Bill Reel. Thank you so much. He is the producer, proprietor, owner, everything important with regard to Mormon discussions. Mormon Sunday School is going out under Mormon discussions on that same platform. And this is the webpage that's been put together. Bill came up with the logo, Mormon Sunday School. There's absolutely nothing in it as of yet, but there will be presently. All right. So this is its own separate web page, but under the Mormon discussions channel. I did not want to go ahead and start releasing my weekly Mormon Sunday School within Radio Free Mormon, because then it would just get all mixed in with everything else, and that didn't seem to me like a good way of approaching it. Also, hopefully, there may be some people who want to listen to Mormon Sunday School who don't want to listen to other things that I talk about. If so, that's great. We'll have a separate channel, so you can just subscribe there and get Mormon Sunday School on its own. If you like both, certainly you can subscribe to both. But there's Mormon Sunday School. You'll be able to find that at mormonsundayschool.com. That's mormonsundayschool.com. And I have actually already produced my first episode there, which released yesterday. A lot of people were not able to find it. It was somewhat difficult to find. That's my fault. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing this episode, is to hopefully let people know what's going on, where it is, where you can find it. And let me see if I can find this. Is this it? No, that's the same thing I just showed you. No, that's not it. Here we go. Here is a screen grab from the very first episode that was released yesterday. Okay, so there it is. Okay. Mormon Sunday School. There I am talking. It's the Come Follow Me manual on the Book of Mormon this year. That is the standard work being studied. It's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Lesson number 1, which covers from January 1st through 7th, 2024. I'm getting it released at the beginning of the year. So once again, in advance of when it's going to be studied in church, which will be the first Sunday of the year, which is going to be a week from today. Today's date, once again, being 123 of 2023. I think I already said that in the 2-3 part, at least the second 2-3 part. Okay, this is getting needlessly complicated. I'm doing this new podcast, Mormon Sunday School with Radio Free Mormon. That tagline under the bottom says, I can't even read it, but it says, I don't have it memorized, where you learn about the stuff you're never going to hear in regular Sunday school. I think that's a reasonable approximation of the tagline, where you learn the stuff you're never going to hear about in regular Sunday school. So if you go to YouTube, you can watch it on YouTube. It has its own YouTube channel, once again, with Mormon Discussions Podcasts, Inc. But you can find it on YouTube. You can watch it. It's 45 minutes long. I'm not going to have it go longer than a regular Sunday school class because that would sort of defeat the purpose. But that's Mormon Sunday School. And the first episode that I have titled A Tale of Two Testimonies. A number of people have watched it. It's getting a lot of good comments. I think that this is going to be a podcast where I can pour a lot of my background, a lot of my knowledge, a lot of my experience in ways that I have not been able to in other podcasts so far. So we'll see how that goes. I am definitely committed and committing with you, and should be committed to doing this for at least this year. And hopefully the whole plan is to do it all 4 years through all 4, the cycle of Book of Mormon. Then there'll be church history. Then it'll be Old Testament, then New Testament. I expect that'll be the 4 years. So hopefully I can live that long to bring that to you and fulfill that promise. Now, the other thing that I've got going on, the second podcast, in other words, is, let me take that down. And this is one that is not Mormon-centric. This is Shakespeare-centric. As anybody who's watched me for any period of time knows, I have an absolute love affair going with Shakespeare. I love his plays. I've read them. I've studied them. I've memorized way too much, if that's even possible, of Shakespeare. And sometimes I quote it when the Spirit moves me. But I wanted to do a podcast about Shakespeare. It's called Brush Up Your Shakespeare. And the idea behind it is simply to have a very brief episode every week. Once again, it's going to be a weekly podcast. But in that, we're going to spend no more than 15 minutes talking about one line from Shakespeare so that we can brush up our Shakespeare. It'll be a quote from Shakespeare that hopefully we can learn together. The idea is to learn what it means, where it comes from, the context, and how we can use it, if we choose, in conversation or in a sentence, where it might fit in, where it could be used. And of course, the sky's the limit with your imagination on that one. In the process, we're also going to learn about the plays and the plots of the plays. And nothing could be more fascinating or thrilling to me. It's called Making Shakespeare. This is the tagline: Making Shakespeare Fun and Easy, which is the way it always was supposed to be. So let me see if I can find a couple of clips of that to put up on the screen. Let me see. Brush Up Your Shakespeare. Here is, okay. I'm going to put it on here. Here it is. There it is. Okay, so that's how it appears in YouTube. If you go to Introduction to Hamlet, number 1, that is the very first play we'll be talking about. We'll be going through Hamlet. Believe me, there's a lot of great lines in Hamlet. Brush Up Your Shakespeare, Introduction to Hamlet, 001, License to Soliloquize. Okay, that wasn't that great, but hey, it's Sunday morning, it's New Year's, and these are the jokes. 001, License to Soliloquize. So that is what it looks like. That's the first thumbnail. And once again, Bill put this thumbnail together for me, and we've been going back and forth until the wee hours of the morning, last night, the night before, coming up with these different thumbnails, different logos for the shows. So that's what it looks like there. And I had another image of it that I wanted to put up. And let me see if I can find this. No, that's not it. That's not it. That actually may be it. I think that is it. Okay, so let me get that out of my way. I don't think you can see it. But that's what's going on. So I've got 2 new podcasts that I'm doing in addition to Radio Free Mormon. A lot of my Radio Free Mormon focus and energy is going to be going into Mormon Sunday School. But I do intend to easy for me to say. But I do intend to continue putting out episodes of Radio Free Mormon as time and occasion permit. So Mormonism Live every Wednesday evening at 6:20 p.m. Mountain Time. That continues apace. And Radio Free Mormon will continue as well. But on top of that, I will be doing 2 new podcasts. One called, see, I don't even have these memorized yet. Hopefully they'll become more trippingly on the tongue as time progresses. Mormon Sunday School, and Brush Up Your Shakespeare. I hope you will go to those. I hope you will subscribe. I hope you'll like them. I hope you'll be able to find them and enjoy them. And Bill has assured me that we'll put links to those in the footnotes or the show notes to this episode. So I want to thank everybody for following me, for watching, for subscribing. And I hope that you'll really enjoy Mormon Sunday School and Brush Up Your Shakespeare in 2024. So thanks again. I'm going to be signing off now. I want to wish each and every one of you a wonderful New Year's. Have a great time tonight. Be safe. Have fun. Remember who you are. Until next time, this is Radio Free Mormon, signing off the air.